So hello everyone, once again we are back, and in this session we are at the position where we are understanding the shell scripting and the bash scripting. So in previous lecture I have explained everything about what is shell, what is a shell script and how it's look like, what is the syntax things, all the thing. Now in this lecture we have to study all this in the detail. Okay, so first of all, shell script is what? What is a shell script? So anyone asks from you that is what is shell script and why we use all this thing. Okay, so for that we have to explain that what is this shell script. Okay, this is shell script. So this is a command, a collection of the command. These are the collection of the command, and in a scripting language, and that is used to, that is interpreted by the shell. Okay, and in the operating system that is present in the OS operating system, and such as like the Linux, such as we are right now using the Linux. So shell act as a command line. So it act as a command line interpreter to interact with the operating system and execute the command. Okay, shell script is commonly used to automate the repetitive task. Okay, execute the sequence of the command. So what we have to what was it is automate automate the repetitive task. Okay, and second thing is that second thing is that it execute execute. Okay, execute a sequence of command or sequence of command. Okay, and simplify simplify the administration administration administration, and improve the efficiency and improve the efficiency and consistency. So these are the these are the feature consistency. Okay, so these are the feature of this shell script. So now we have to move to the our text editor where we see this thing. So let's open our text editor that I'm using. So right now I'm using Killer Coda. So on that platform I'm using this thing. So first of all I have to, before first of all choose a text editor. Before you start writing your script, you need a text editor. That is popular choice, that is Nano, VM, Emacs. The beginner friendly is Nano, and user friendly and easy to use. So that one I am using. So I am using Nano. I want to write first script dot sh. We know the extension of script. So if we enter, we move to the another tab in which we start writing our script. Okay. So a second step is the write R script. So how I start this one? Let's write the simple script that is print your name or hello world, all this thing in the terminal. So for that one, what we do, first of all we have to exclamatory hashtag, then exclamatory max slash bash slash bin, then bash slash bin, then bash. Okay, after that this is a simple script. So if we print this hello world, so for that one printing we know that we use echo. So hello world. Okay, so we do this thing. Okay, so it will be printed. First of all, the explanation that this first line is hashtag slash hashtag this one bin is called a cbang was cbang. Okay, and it is specific the cell that should be used. This is known as cbang, and it is a specific cell that should be used to interpret the script. Okay, the lines start with the comment and they are ignored by the cell and help to improve the readability, and this echo command print this text inverse. So we have to save and exit. So for saving we have to use Control O, then confirm, enter, and Control X. Okay, so we are now, and now we have to give the execution power to this cell. We know that how we give execution power. So there's cmod, change the modification things and add the execution power to script. Okay, script.sh. Okay, so I give the execution power to this one, and now your script is executable and you can run this by typing this thing. So you want to run this one slash dot slash script dot sh. So like hello world is printed. Okay, you can see here this is printed. So dot slash is indicate that script is located in this directory. Okay, and the output is printed. The alternative way is like without changing the permission, we simply write bash or like script dot sh. So it will also print this thing. Okay, and like we have another create like this thing. No, okay, you understand. So in this case, in the case execute permission is not required. In that case, we have to use the bash script dot sh. Okay, and now we have to understand what is the variable and what is the variable and the input we have. So variable and the input we use. So this thing we have to open this script nano thing. Okay, we reach to this position. So now we have to write this is like so variable and input. Okay, so if I say that what is your name, so I want to read this file, what is your name. Okay, so anyone who in this new lecture, so you can see that it is easy. Okay, so if I write this one and again in next line I have to read this name. Okay, so how, and this will, and if it is like if someone gave that name, so I have to print this one. For printing I used to use echo. Okay, echo hello, and for this like use dollar. Okay, use dollar for that name. Okay, this is the variable that I'm using, exclamatory mark, and then this one. Okay, then control O, enter, control X to exit. Now I have to run this thing. Okay, bash script. Okay, now I can run anytime. So I have to give the name SIDHARTH. So hello Siddharth. So this is printed. Okay. Okay, read store user input in this variable and this thing. Okay, and this is dollar name. Retrieve that value of that variable. Okay, so run that script. It will be the prompt you have to enter this name. Okay, what is the control flow? The shell script support basic control flow and the structure like if statement, case statement, and loop statement. Okay, so let's try to write this one. Okay, so nano script, and we move to this script file and we reach to this position. Okay, so now we have to little bit change this thing. Okay, we can't read, we have to use our like this keyboard to reach this position. Use like what is like, oh, enter the number. Okay, in that case I have to write enter the number. Okay, in that case I have to write enter the number. Okay, so I write and this thing. Okay, this is num, this is the variable I want to like, so I have to remove this thing. Okay, no need this thing. Okay, so if this I am using if condition, that is like this, starting with this one. If okay, if num is divided by 2, if num is divided by 2, okay, if num is divided by 2, then is equal to, like num divided by 2 is equal to 0. Okay, I close this bracket, and then if and then echo like print that value that num is even. Okay, else if is say so else case is equal to echo and dollar that num is odd. Okay, and F5 to end this thing, enter this thing. Okay, and save, control enter and control X, we exit and we run this command. Okay, bash, we run this command. So script this enter, I enter this like 16. So the script line does command not found, like 16 is odd. Okay, so it will represent 20, and this like, let me see what happened. This thing, So if this, so if using this one, okay, double things, okay, is equal to this, then read the number, okay. Okay, everything's look great. Okay, so like script 6 command not found, let me 16 is the number. So I like printed all these things. So this is a simple basic like the scripting file, how it's look like. So I write this like first scripting code. Now we have to like move to the next thing, that is shell scripting and shell variable in the Linux. Okay, so in Linux and the Unix system, the shell act as a command line interpreter, and that provide a bridge between the user and the system kernel. The shell provide shell variable are used in Linux scripting to store the data and then a reference modification and the reused throughout the script. They are the script more flexible and allow automation and the repetitive tasks. Okay, store data or values such as a text, number, or file path, and then share the information between functions. So what is the use of variables in the Linux? Okay, maintain the state, keep track of this value, automate the simplify repetitive tasks. Proper variable are uses improve the scripting readability. Okay, the two type of variable we know. Okay, the two type of variable we know in Linux. Okay, so like the two type of variable we in the Linux we know that is like first one is like local variable. Okay, so these are the two variables we have to see here. So you can see. Okay, so let me change this file to the file. Okay, you can see here that we have two variables, that is like local variable. Okay, this local variable that exists only if the specific function block of the code, and global variable accessible throughout the script, and then export available child process and shell. And then another is a shell, that predefined variable maintained by the shell that store the system and information. Okay, so when we are talking about this like local variable, so local variable is a variable whose scope is limited to some specific function block or defined inside the function, accessible only within that function, not visible outside that function, help to prevent unintended modification of this variable. So what is the use of local variables? Okay, and we see the code for the local variable, this thing, there is a code for this thing, local variable script code. So let me paste here. Okay, okay, so this is local variable code that we see here. So in this you can see that this is like scripting. So like for the scripting I can use that in this position hashtag this one sh. In bash we use bash. Okay, so this is a function, so like calculate sum, use this parenthesis curly brackets, and this is the like local variable sum 50, and this is like hashtag is used for the comment part. Okay, and this is used for the printing thing. Okay, sum inside this one, and we extract this value. Okay, so if we try to use this sum because it is locally, and if you try to access from the external things, okay, at this position it will not display anything, and we write calculate sum. So this is function, and then we call the function. Okay, so like now this will inside the function it will print any value. Okay, and sum defined inside this calculate function is locally, it cannot access outside. So and it only outside the function it remained like nothing, and this value, so the some specific value. And what is the global variable? So global variable is a variable that is accessible throughout the script, including the inside the function, outside the function, anywhere. So we can see a code that is look like this thing. global variable code is look like this code. Okay, so I have to small this thing. Okay, it's a global variable. Okay, so global variable, this thing. Okay, so everything is visible on this tab. Okay, so global variable, we have to pass this first line, that is script file, this sh global. I define this total is equal to 100, this function show total, so it will also show the value and it is also show the value if we call this function. Okay, so it will first print this value outside things, and if we call this function, then it will run in this position and it will be showing the value. Okay, now export global to the child script. So how I export this file to the child script? So like we know that now how we export the export this file to child script. So let's see. So we have so we know that how we do. First of all, we have to paste this thing. So this is a like parent, the parent script. Okay, okay, this is the parent script. We have like parent script inside this thing is written, and this is like global value is 100 and export total. To export to make it available for its child script. So in that case, we have to like export this variable. So export variable and run the child script. If we run that child script, so in child script, we have to write something that is like access the variable. So in that case, it will be accessible. So for that one, we have to like export. Okay. So this is the variable, and that one thing is that is cell. What is a cell variable? Like cell variable is known as a system variable and is are a special variable created by the maintained by cell itself, and they are stored system related information that are cell and script used to like function correctly. So these variables are usually defined in uppercase and available. Okay, so created and maintained by cell automatically store the system or like environment information typically written in the uppercase letter and use for the script access, like setting the user detail, all this thing. Okay, so let's see this thing. Let's see this thing on our like editor. So on done. So clear this thing. Okay, so what we have to write simply like nano like cell variable. So nano like script dot sh. Okay, so your creator, so hashtag I slash bin slash bash. Okay, now we use like echo bash version. Okay, and that how we write this is, we are use capital bash underscore version. Okay, so these are created by like scripting thing. Okay, and echo this home directory we have how we like this thing. For this thing we have to hashtag home. Okay, so again like we want to like paste. Now we're like host name echo, like we have on host name. So in that case host name Lauren. Okay, so echo we want like username name. In that case like listen user enemy name. These are things, save and enter and exit. Okay, so if we run this script without any bash script.sh, like enter the number, why it's not running? Script, this is script.sh, control O, enter, control X, like make it less chmod executable script.sh. Okay, give this permission and run this script sh. Why it's showing this thing, I don't know why. So let me open this thing. Let me copy this thing. Okay, just copy everything. So okay, I created another file. It is parent.sh. okay, that I have to put. How I paste? Control U, empty buffer. So like hashtag I slash bin slash bash. Okay, this one, exclamatory marks for this thing. Okay, so echo the bash version. If like echo the bash version, so in that echo this bash version. So how can I do by doing this thing? Bash underscore version. Okay, version. So in that case, control O, control X, control enter, control X to exit. So like parent, this is, and if you want to like simply run bash parent.sh, so in this we can see that the bash version of this one. So this is like, this is created and maintained by cell. This cell is like variable special variable that is created and maintained by cell itself. Okay, this is all about like cell scripting and cell variable. Now we move to the next part, that is bash fundamental. Okay, so understanding the bash fundamental, what are the bash fundamental? Okay, we can see this thing. So we cover all this thing that is available in this cell scripting. Now we move to the bash scripting. So I will change the thumbnail. Okay, so in bash scripting we have to see what are the things that are changes from this cell scripting. Like bash scripting is a process of writing the sequence. So it is like bash scripting. Okay, so like bash scripting. Okay, so when we talk about bash scripting, so bash scripting is the process of writing the sequence of code, sequence of command. Okay, command in a file, and that can execute them together to perform the task automatically. Okay, so instead of running the command one by one in a terminal, the script allow you to execute them in a single step. So we like, this is a command, we convert it into the file and like convert into the and run once. Okay, not like run, instead of running the command one by one in a terminal, a script that allow you to execute them in a single step. Okay, so automate the repetitive and the time consuming task, execute the multiple command in a single run. Okay, and save the time, that reduce the manual efforts, all this thing. Okay, so writing the bash script is same as earlier that we did. Okay, now we try to, earlier that is used for the bash scripting. Now we do for this one. So we are not using .sh, so here as simply we have to nano that hello.sh, hell.sh. So in that command, so earlier we are using hashtag I bin, and then For the script that is S, and for the bash that is use bash. Okay. Okay. All things are same. Like we use the echo. Heli, anything that we have to save, enter, exit. Okay. Like BSC bash, and how it will be executed. So control save and like give execution. So instead of this one, I simply run this way dot as such. So it will help you everything. Okay. So run this command. So variable in the bash is same as like this one, that we use name is all this thing as that we use in scripting. We have also the we also have that global and local variable. Okay, so we see we have seen earlier. Decision making in the bash. The decision making allow the bash script to execute different block of code based on the condition. If this script behave dynamically instead of running the same command every time, the conditional statement and this like essential for the automation. So execute the command based on the condition, help to validate a user input. Okay, enable the dynamic script behavior and support multiple execution path. Okay, so if and so starting with the if, then we write fe. Okay, so let's see what are the things that we are want to see. So okay, bash scripting fundamentals, bash scripting fundamentals. So let's see some of the variables. So if we are talking about the condition things, so in condition things we have to like do like this thing. Okay, okay, you can see on this thing. Okay, so if we see that we have written this thing as a bash, we are running this bash, writing the bash scripting. So in this we have to see that this is written, this is a variable. Okay, and in if condition we are using this bracket. Okay, if that age is greater than is equal to greater, G for greater than is equal to 18, then it can be vote. Okay, so you can vote, else you can't vote. So if you're starting with the FE, so end with the so IF, so it end with the FI. Okay, you have to, so these are the difference. Is 17 stored, and this the square bracket check if the age is greater than is equal to or not. Okay, and then and we see then, so this ended and use then. Okay, here then execute the condition if true, else it execute this condition is false, and fi end the block. Okay, the case condition is also used. So if we want to see the case condition in this bash scripting, you can see here. So bash scripting also provide the case condition. So if we write this thing, okay, that is like name is Sahil. So case, if that Sahil is like used in curly bracket in. So if in case in, so if this thing Gulgam, like Gulfam, then echo, this is a professional software engineer. If Sujal, then this thing, if Sahil, so this thing. And if we write opposite of this one, so case, so case, so in that case we have to look at ESAC, so opposite of this one to close this block. Okay, so it is a simple block. Okay, and like input output, how we take input output. So like we know that how we take input output in the bash file, we already do in the script file. So let me paste this at this position. Okay, so for bash file we know that this is like hashtag this thing bin bash echo enter the name. This will print the first line, and if we like, this is a variable in which this, if we read this, if we write any name, this will be stored. And if this equal to this file name, if equal to the file name, then print file name exists in the directory and cat, and then print that like cat concatenate that file. Listen, if cat is greater than, let's try this code. how it behave, how it behave. So let, okay, that this one justify if. So like let me try to write this thing. Okay, okay. So if echo enter the full name. Okay, so like read file name. Okay, let me see it's working or not. Okay, Control O, enter Control X. Okay, like bash. Okay, so it's running. So we move to this cell. Now we have to see if we are using the if condition, then square bracket is equal to this dollar file name. So in that case, we closing if and then then echo will be this thing. Okay, this file name is exist. Okay, it is in directory, and next line is that is use cat that get file name. Okay, else case is that if cat is greater than this thing file name, then echo file created. Okay, and I close this one, save it, enter it, close it. Okay, so again bash this file internal sidharth. So this command and why it not working. So hello e is not working. Let me fix this thing, why it is not working. What is the issue? I have to see this file. Okay, so I have to see this file. Okay, so like issue inside this space. So space if space file name space. Okay, Control O, enter Control X. Okay, now this file enter name sid 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 sid. So it not subway, so it under the file name, read the file, store the user input, each check if it is exit, cat display the file content. Okay, so like your command, so like enter the file name hello hello that thing. So what will happen? So like first of all echo with this thing. Okay, and also in this echo, in that echo enter the full name. Okay, and read the file, and if this is equal to check if the file exists or not. Okay, this file name. Hello. So we can see this thing. Okay, if file name is there and cat display the file content, okay, the cat will display that file content and redirect the output to the create, or like inside the cat we have to cat this thing the file name, so rewrite the output and write that file name. Okay, let's see some other issue. Okay, and then we move to the next part, the terminal enter things. Okay, so like function in the bash, we know that function, how we write function. Oh, so these are the things that are like string and the numeric. Okay, is equal to meant true and not is equal to, we know all the string and comparison. Hyphen n is used true if the string is not empty. Hyphen z is true if string is empty. Okay, not empty, all this thing happen. Okay, numeric and following thing, so we have to keep this numeric input inside this thing. In bash we have to understand this thing. So like this is not is equal to, this is equal, sorry, it is equal to, if we add n, so it is not is equal to, gt is greater than, g greater than, and is equal to. Okay, and lt less than, or le less than is equal to. So these are the comparison we know. Okay, and this, okay, and the file permission, we know that how we give the file permission. So in that case we add the file permission. So this is all about what is this bash scripting, basic of this one. Now we see the working of this bash scripting. So bash scripting automate the task in a Linux by letting you to write and execute and multiple command line in a single file. Okay, so this script can be plain text interpreted in a bash shell and commonly used for the file management, backup, okay, file management, backup, system monitoring, and the configuration. Automate the repetitive task. Okay, and command line, and allow the like execution and all this thing, like allow can schedule and work on any of the system that support the bash shell. Okay, so bash scripting and the bash shell. So bash shell is a command line interpreter that interpreted with the Linux operating system, and it read the command enter by the user or store in a script that execute the sequentially. Okay, bash provide a command line things, interpret and execute, allow the automation, and give a GUI like environment, and support configuration and the setups. Okay, so if we write the bash version, so in this like clear bash version, so for that one I have to shift to this Ubuntu thing. So bash is done. Okay, like we have to see that this is what we have. There's a bash GNU version. This is like free software, you can this thing. So like we have to like enter example prompt for the normal user that we can use. So common startup configuration file is .bash. Okay, so the common that bash scrap, so ls, so we have to find ls, like find all this thing, a all that value, it is grab, to find that name, start with the bash. Okay, so these are the directory. So ls list all this, all that's value are matching with the grab. Okay, and like bash, so this will the result of this, what is the inside the bash. Okay, and command command added these file execute automatically whenever a new terminal is opened. Okay, So like example, first of all, example for editing the bash rc configuration file. So for a configuration, any file that we have like rc, so nano dot bash rc file. So this will be the file inside this thing. These are the configuration file. Okay. Okay, output will be this one. So working of the bash script. So in Linux programs stored in a disk and executed as process when they run in a memory. So when they run in a memory, so when command or the script is executed, the operating system load that program into the RAM and allocate these required resources for the execution. And each time bash script is executed, the cell start separate process for that script. Okay. So the process contain with own execution environment, including variable, memory, all this thing. Okay. Running instance of this program in a Linux is called process. Running an instance of the program is known as Linux is known as process, and each script execution create a separate process environment. Okay. Memory is allocated for that variable for temporary runtime data. Okay. And the multiple instances of same process can run simultaneously. Okay. One note is that when a bash script start, the cell create a new process to run that script. Okay. This separation ensure that variable and operations inside the script don't interfere the current cell like session. Okay. So identifying a bash script file, how can we identify the bash like bash script is usually saved in .sh extension. Okay. Now, although this extension is optional, because the first line in this script normally contain the cbang that is hashtag exclamatory this thing. Okay, so the bash file that is like, if we see this bash file starting with the hashtag all this thing. Okay, bash file start with this thing hashtag exclamatory and this bin. Okay. The sequence that hashtag exclamatory is called cbang, and it defines the path of this cell to execute. Okay. Creating and running the script file. So we know that how we create a length section we create, and the script that can be using the bash interpreter. Okay. And if not executable, then give the permission. So it will like chmod all this thing. So this is all about this bash scripting. It's not a lot more things. Okay. So like variable and this variable, we know the variable in the bash script. Okay. So like if we have like one task, like if we have create nano my name dot sh. Okay, it will return so hashtag exclamatory bin slash bash name. So for this one, like name is equal to Gautam. Okay, and if you want to print that thing, so echo this thing name. Okay, save it, enter it, exit it. Okay, so bash my name. Okay, so no such sorry, bash dot name dot sh command line. My name is not find. Okay, let's see what happened. Bash slash bin. Okay, slash bin. Okay, so what is the issue? So should I give permission? So this will be like, I think okay name is this thing and name. So like go enter. So I think chmod give permission to this thing. Okay, my name dot sh. I give the sorry my name. Okay, I give this permission. Let's run bash my name dot sh. like my name dot is a line 3 name command not found. So name command is not found. I have to see that name command. Mm, what is this? Show me this one. Is equal to, we have to like don't give space. So I think that I give this space at this place, not giving space at any place. Name control O, control X, bash my name. So got because of the any of this simple mistake you have to did, like you did any simple mistake, it will be like hard to like think. So all the variables, so we know that different type of variables that will be available. So invalid variables, so like we can't start with a number or like characters in a variable. Okay, so how we declare the values? So declaring the variables before the correct assignment is that is equal to with the code. Okay, no need to add all these things. So using declared to define anything, so we have no local variable. Okay, and local variable and global variables, we know that. And bash has like bash have some environment specific commands. So these are the like commands we know. Bash have some like inbuilt commands, so that look like this thing. Okay, so some of the bash command that look like this bash version. Okay, this bash version, so display the current version of bash period, current directory, all this thing. Okay, so it can be used to see this thing. Okay, and user defined variable, so we can define anything and we can print. Okay, so what are some of the special characters? So this special character is used like some of the special character that are used, you have to understand. Okay, so these are the special character that we are using. So if we write this thing, so it will process at the current cell. If we this thing, okay, exit the status and last this name the script belong to the executed, this one to the first to 9 command line, first to 9th command line argument. Okay, 10th argument line. Okay, and this total number of argument passed, this is all argument that passed in the script. Let's try this thing in our cell. So bash variable ubuntu, where is ubuntu? So I think that exit, why it is not visible? Let me find where this bash scripting is there. Hello, so we have to see it is like visible or not. Let me try all this thing. So is ubuntu, okay, So in this case, we try if we have to like what we have to do. So we have to like check this thing. So we have to echo the process ID. So echo, not capital, echo dot this double dollar. The process ID is like 1692. Okay. So if we use six like exclaim this dollar and this question mark, in that case, no found because it exit D, it exit the status of the last executed command. So if we like print this thing, so dollar one, nothing is like nano get I dot sh. Okay, this thing let's try again slash okay, name is going to bottom. Okay, go correct. Okay, exit it, and why I try to run this thing bash bash I dot sh. So Gotham, okay, so it will be printed, and if we try to like access anything, that is why it's not showing. So like $3 integrate. So like it will like total number of argument password, this nothing. Okay, and so it exists. So ls thing, see if we write ls, so it will like two files, file system and this file system and this thing. Okay, if we want to like echo what I think, if we want to echo this question mark, so it will be 0. Okay, if we like echo like success 0, so it will. So if we write like a script and 0, what will I return? So like a script name. Okay, if we write a script name, okay. So if we write echo dollar 0, so what is bash that is we using? Echo 1, nothing. Echo 9, nothing. Okay, so these are like at the rate. So like bash script hello world. So run this script. The script name. So it will script name of this thing. Okay, hello world arguments total argument 2. Let's try this thing. Okay, so echo app.sh hello world. Okay, okay. The script name is okay. How we define array in this bash script? We name as a array, defining array name element1 element2 array name. Okay, by array name in which a and n is capital. Okay, accessing the particular in echo curly like a dollar curly braces that name and that particular point. Okay, so we access this one. How we can array, like if we how we find the length of that array, so like this thing, and we put this hashtag to find this array length. Okay, so like this thing, we have to see this. Okay, now let's try to see this one more thing. If we want to see the things that is error, I have to put this thing here. Okay, okay. How we find array? Let me change the display here. DP. Okay, so display, you can see that that declare my data type. So this is like we are saying this thing. Okay, so declare all my datas. So my datas, and in this is the array. We have this value. Okay, declare a bash variable and gfg. All this thing are the string. So what is the array length? So array length are stored in this variable. So by this using and this curly brackets and this hashtag, by which we find this my data all values at array length. Okay, so total echo. So first of all, total number of element by using this values. Okay, for we had to use two type of loop for this one. 0 to array length I plus plus. Do echo element. We have to print this first element I plus 1 is my data. Is my data in this we have to is my data, and my length is for this one is this thing. Okay, and done. Do and done and echo all element in data is all element in the data look like this one. Okay, so first of all the print total number of lengths, so it will return the total number of lengths. Okay, element 1 is learning, it is data is that element is learning, and the length is, and that particular length of that thing is 8. Okay, second line bash nrd learning bash like all element learning bash variable. So by this one we have to print all this value learning bash and gfg. Okay, to declare an integer, so declaring the integer, so we use declare hyphen a, by which we declare the integer. Then we have to increment this value. Okay, now declaring the array, we declare hyphen a my array. In that value we put this value, and if you want to print any particular value, so in that case dollar my array, and that we find associative array. So for that one we have to like in the key and value, so in that case we have to like capital A, so it look like this thing. So associative array. So what is associative array? So associative define associative which stored a key in data and the key value pair. Okay, so in our term we can say that it is like a map. Associative array. So look at this one. So declare capital A as a score in this one, in square bracket Ron, this value is this one John, this value is Ram, this value is Sam. So we want to print all this value. So for key in, if score is not this one, do whatever to do echo first of all key scored from this table. Okay, like Sam, like key, this one is a key and this is value of this key. Okay, so this will be printed. So this is like key value. Okay, so now we have to move to the next part. CLO is command line this thing. Okay, so if we write like total number of argument at all the argument, if star and all the number of arguments is printed by $1, $2, total number of argument we have to see. So if my variable equal variable, so command substitution. So this is all about this bash scripting and all this thing. Okay, now one last thing, that is the main question: what is the difference between bash and this shell scripting? Okay, so in our computer the script is defined as a sequence of instruction that is executed by another program, or shell is a command line interpreter in Linux which provide an interface between user and the kernel and execute the sequence and instruction called command. So all cell is capable of running the script, and like script that is passed in a cell is called cell script. The cell is capable of running or running a script, and a script that is passed to the cell is called cell script. Okay. Bash is just a simple text file that consisting a number of commands. So usually usually write in command Linux file system they use for doing the repetitive task. A task like based like bash script may contain number of commands, or it might contain element like loop, for loop, condition, all this thing. Okay. Then shell script is considered a special user program that provide a platform for interface to user so that they can use operating system services. Okay. So like what are the difference between this cell and this thing? Okay. Okay. I will show the difference between. You have to understand. Okay. This is the difference between shell script and bash script. Okay. First of all, the bash script. So first of all, we see the bash script is a script that is specially created for the bash, and the shell script is a script that is executed in any shell. Okay, depending on the cbang and the compatibility. Okay, bash script is a subset of the shell scripting. So bash script is a subset of this subset, the shell scripting, and this one is a bash scripting. Okay. And shell scripting is a method to automate the task as a collection of all these things. So bash scripting is one of the shell scripting. Okay. Shell has con, C, shell, born, or bash, all these things. So bash is the acronym for the born against shell. Okay. And it developed by the Brian. Okay. So origin by the Unix shell. So H is Unix shell. So SS, develop this one. So bash is more feature as compared to traditional SH. So like common ones less fewer features than this one. Okay. So for this we use cbang, that is bash, and for this one we use cbang, that is SH. Okay. So bash is more programmer friendly as compared to the traditional SH, and less programmer friendly as compared to bash. So these are the difference between shell and bash scripting. So we understand all about, and we have to like do hand-on practices on this shell scripting, variables and the function, how the array, all this thing. Okay. And we know the functions and all this thing in this shell. Like dollar will store and return the value from the last executed function. Okay. You know dollar use of dollar. So dollar is used to, so whenever in the function like in bash scripting, if you use like dollar and question mark, so dollar and question mark store the return value that is last executed. Okay. And if we write return 7, to send the value 7 back in the calling script. Okay. Okay. Yes. So like $1 mean argument 1, or 2 mean second argument. Okay. And if we like gonna echo as a that will return the last return executed function. Okay. Echo the sum is last thing. Okay. Variable scope, so we know a different variable scope. Okay. Dollar var1 var2. Okay. So by covering this thing, we have completed everything in this cell, like everything in the Linux. And like if anything is left, that is like services and this system management thing. So we will try to cover in this next chapter. Okay. Bye bye.